Hi guys, it's Mimberly and welcome back to the channel. I had to change my top after the last one. It was getting way too stuffy in here. We're carrying on with the myths. It is Rafayel's turn. We're going to be playing Forgotten Sea. The god once made a promise to his follower. An eternal bond has thus been made. Oh god. I think Rafayel's like probably the character I know the least about, so this is going to be interesting. There's an old saying around these islands. Wherever the sea breeze blows is under the sea god's divine gaze. The god of the sea demands more devout followers. As wind rises at sea and the tides pummel ships, fishermen and sailors wear grey garments. Emissaries of the deep sea, they claim to be. They construct temples on seaside cliffs, light sacred flames, and sing hymns from dubious origins every day. They say the god of the sea will select his most devout follower among the humans and grant their wish. The gift must be prepared for the god of the sea. Sometimes 'tis a creature from a foreign land, treasure, or even a person. Oh god.
Quickly now! The sacrifice is missing!
Amidst the storm, the ship has lost its sense of direction. Sea water sweeps into the cabin. The corpses around me are stiff, cold. My stomach churns, so I do my best not to hurl.
Lower the sails! And turn! Hurry! The waves are too strong. Water is rushing in. Half the cabin is already flooded. Now, throw it in the ocean!
They are in disarray, and the cabin shakes violently. A sailor kicks away bloated corpses. Grabbing me by the collar, he drags me to the deck. Oh. A strange song arises from the misty sea, bringing with it a faint air of mystique. Like an invisible hand, it calms the raging whirls of the ocean. The wind dies down.
Fools. Any further in a storm would be the last thing on your minds.
Before the ship sails away, I am tossed overboard. Roaring torpents drown out my pleas. Help me. Stormy water engulfs me. Before I lose consciousness, however, a warmth surrounds me. Oh my god, you look amazing. When I surface, the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen appear.
Were you abandoned?
He holds an ornate flute. The infernal melody disappears when he stops playing it. Save me. He sits on driftwood. Under the night sky, he looks at me, the scales on his neck emitting a faint glow. Is he a Lemurian?
Did you ask for my assistance?
He reaches out to me. Yet when our hands touch, fire bursts forth from his fingers. He smiles, proud of his own successful joke. My survival instincts kick in, making me clench his hand with all my might.
Release me.
The scales on his neck are raised ever so slightly.
I said release me.
From the depths of my mind, I remember an old story. A Lemurian kiss can let one breathe in watery depths. Trapped in the unrelenting tide, I grab him, catching him off guard, and kiss him. Oh. Save me. I struggle to keep my eyes open, but I desperately look at that beautiful gaze. After a long silence passes, his voice rings in my ears, low, soft, as if he's casting a spell to enthrall someone.
I will grant you deliverance. And in exchange, offer yourself, your everything to me. Become my follower, mortal.
Why was that hotter than I expected? This is gonna do something to me, I can tell.
Is she dead?
Can dead bodies be used for research?
Bro, what the fuck?
Her body's warm, and she still breathes. Why won't she wake up?
Did you forget our lessons in the study of human anatomy? They aren't like us.
Oh, we're in Lemuria, huh?
Oh, must be cerebral hypoxia caused by pressure differences. Let's record this observation in our next report.
Oh, my hair.
If her soul has returned to the heavens, we should ask Rafayel if we can dissect her. The college hasn't had a fresh human specimen for hundreds of years.
Excuse me?
She's awake! Her eyes are open!
What is this place?
Keep your distance. She bites.
The shadows immediately take several steps back. What are they planning to do? The person they address as Rafayel leans in. Getting a better look at his face, I can see he is a pretty young Lemurian. His mouth is swollen and there seems to be a wound on his lips. When our eyes meet, he glares. I gulp, unsure if this Lemurian has any ill intent. Where am I?
A glance would reveal that you are in Lemuria.
Oh, he's pissed.
Treat her wounds and give her clean clothes. I'll inform Elder Amund that we've found my devout follower.
You're my savior, right? I should express my gratitude. The beautiful Lemurian leaves.
Worry not. When Rafayel brought you back, it seems you'd be vomiting bubbles with the crabs for a fortnight.
From her hiding place, a young girl pops up. Curious and excited, she sits by the edge of the bed.
My name is Algie. He's Conch. You're the first live human we've met. Well, they're the ones who swam along the currents, but none could talk like you.
You're scaring her, sister. Look, her hands shake like a shrimp seeing a whale for the first time.
Oh, my apologies. I didn't mean it.
Why, may I know why you brought me here?
You'll know when you visit the temple. It's a very, very long tale. I'll tell it on the way.
Algie told me that in the deep sea is the forgotten kingdom of Lemuria. The sea god, or god of the sea, lives there. He protects whatever the briny sea breeze touches. His followers include not just denizens of the ocean, but also humans. As such, his most devout follower must gift him a heart so he has the strength to protect Lemuria and becomes the god recognized by the entire ocean. It's said that the sea god of our generation was born in flames as dusk turned to dawn. Only he can use fire. Indeed, a great flame has burned in Whaleful City's temple for thousands of years. It represents Lemuria and its prosperity and decline. The Tome of the Sea God states that if this fire were to ever go out, Lemuria shall fall into a deep slumber for centuries. Fuck, so he's pretty important then, is what I'm guessing. Oh, this is so pretty.
Stop running around. Do that, and the humans will get you. They'll skin you.
So to keep the
tug at your
flame
skin,
alive, the
and
sea
turn you
god
into a
requires a
lamp.
certain human follower.
Haven't you heard?
I'll,
child
nods.
next door went
I always
hunting
believed
for
it was a
jellyfish and got
children's
stung.
fairy tale.
Now his
Who
brain
knew?
is nothing
Here.
but sand.
Welcome to
Saying
Whale
he's
Fall
best friends
City.
with the starfish.
Beyond the coral reef is a magnificent city with countless looming spires. Fish and jellyfish float past the grand structures. Impressive and stunning is the city in its entirety. Algie escorts me through the streets till we reach the heart of the city. From there we climb the stone steps of a larger palace. Many spiral staircases later, we stand before a huge door and a circular hall with a vaulted ceiling.
Elder Amund maintains the temple. He believes only the most devout, sincerest worship can awaken the sea god's powers and keep the flame strong.
Why a human specifically? Can't a Lemurian be selected?
Humans are the most selfish, greediest of creatures.
That is not wrong, to be honest.
Thus, when they offer their hearts, love, even their lives, 'tis considered the most precious form of worship. The tome also confirms Rafayel will be the last god of the sea. Therefore,
Conch,
Having called out the boy's name, Rafayel pushes open the temple's doors.
I just remembered I still have a report to write. Farewell.
Rafayel gestures for me to follow him. Conch said that the Tome of the Sea God is here. It contains all of Lemuria's history and prophecies. In the temple is also the fire, symbolic of Lemuria as a whole.
she is most suited to be the one.
Wearing a robe, an old man stands in the middle of the temple. Above him hangs a burning flame. I feel it resembles a sun about to go out as I gaze upon it. What's happening? I hope I won't be tossed into the fire as a sacrifice.
She's the human your quintessence decided on.
'Twas more of fate's whimsy. I wandered about on the earth and became her cushion as she fell.
For now, I shall forget your quintessence snuck out and burned the god's hair. I must ask again,
Is she truly to be the human your quintessence is bound to?
As long as the sea god's ceremony is assured, I will make her my follower. However, we should remove all her teeth and nails. I worry she'd bite and scratch us if given the opportunity.
Oh no, come on, Raphael. I don't think that's a good idea.
Once a Lemurian is bound to someone, 'tis impossible to go against their wishes. She will have the power to command your quintessence.
Oh, is that why he's such a submissive little bitch?
When the two of you barely know each other, is that something worth giving?
The light flickers on Raphael's face. Raphael lowers his head and ruminates about his answer. Elder Almond leaves, and so Raphael and I are alone. If you have yet to decide, can I be set free? I promise I won't speak of this to anyone. Though I try my luck, he continues to stand there.
The day has dragged on long enough. I'm tired.
He finds a comfortable spot on the ground and sits down. What are you doing?
Sleeping.
Why?
Wake me before nightfall.
You! Raphael ignores me. He leans against the marble pillar and closes his eyes. The temple is heavily guarded. I can only huddle in a corner and think of the various ways to escape. Is he asleep? Is he truly asleep? Raphael! Raphael! Raphael doesn't react, but then a small blue fish appears and swims around his shoulders. Where did you come from? I have to admit, you're adorable. I poke the fish and expect to receive no answer. Do you know the way out, oh little fish? The little fish swims in a circle and settles on my finger. Do you understand me? Could you show me a way out? Flickering its translucent tail, the fish swims to the stained glass window behind the alcove. Aha. Interesting. So she was begging him to help. He did. And now she's trying to escape. Typical MC making weird decisions. Half a day dissipated like sea foam. Why have we returned to these crossroads? Do you lack a sense of direction, or do fish always have a terrible memory? Turning its tail, the fish swims into a crowd. I am left behind. Where are you taking me? Ugh, never mind. I'm trying to converse with a fish. After swimming for what feels like an eternity, the little fish stops by a coral reef. It goes into a small hole in the city's wall. Must I actually swim through that? Gloop, gloop, gloop. Alright. I pass through the hole and remove the sand on my knees. I turn around. The opulent underwater city is behind me. Yes! Apologize to your master on my behalf. He is my savior, all things considered. My life on land could be uncertain, but I shall certainly die if I stay within the confinements of the whaleful city with the weird sea god of the sea. I had to think of a proper way to express my gratitude. Should I feed the fishes during the sea god ceremony?
Was it fun to explore Lemuria?
From the garden shadows, a voice speaks. Though hard to make out, a person is lying down behind a silk curtain. Raphael?
There is no need to shout my name.
He lifts a finger and the little fish swims around it. Then it transforms into a blue scale that lands on his palm. I was deceived. The fish was of his creation. You planned this.
'Twas a test made for you. Elder Amund was right. Human promises are but meaningless words.
When did I make a vow to you?
I told you to wake me before nightfall, didn't I?
He yawns, not upset in the slightest.
Besides, when I saved you from the ocean's clutches, we made an oath. Did you forget?
What did we say?
I will grant you deliverance, and in exchange, offer yourself, your everything to me. Become my follower, mortal.
That counted? You are the god of the sea, respectable and awe-inspiring. Can't you consider my rescue an act of kindness and let me go?
I am not a god who answers every whim. The ceremony is to take place in a month. And as you are aware, ceremonies always need.
Narrowing his eyes, the expression only leaves me with a feeling of dread. Followers, There were plenty on land. The ones who wear robes pray every day to you. They're more devout than me. Scared am I to be the sacrifice once more. I tried to persuade Rafayel to consider an alternative.
All right. Return to me your life.
He holds out his hand as if he's grabbing an invisible rope that's tied tightly around my neck. Water enters my nose and throat. I am drowning. I swear on my name I'll do anything you ask. Rafayel grins. He loosens his hold and I find myself able to breathe again.
'Tis not worship that I desire. From the depths of your very soul, I seek only the purest devotion.
I beg your pardon? Come
The
on.
tides ebb and flow, and with every setting sun is a moon rising. Till time's end, I should occupy your every thought. You must believe in me alone.
Now I know why you Rafayel girlies like him. Ebb and Flow, isn't that the name of one of his bonds? And yes, I know that's behind, I still need to do that. You mean
Think of it from another perspective.
He pokes my chest, specifically where my heart lies. He acts as if he's stating a truth.
Thou is to find a means by which thy heart becomes smitten with me.
Shit, I'm falling for Rafayel too. God fucking damn it. Oh, it's already bad enough that all of the boys are going to be cat butlers in the next update. Which, by the way, I'm pissed because it's still not available to me. Yeah, I am seeing videos of people uploading it on YouTube. I'm genuinely tempted to make an account in another region just so I can get early access to the banners. It's bloody ridiculous. Find one who will kiss you, even if you do not give them the world. Love a soul that is like your own, that which complements you. Love and death are the most important things in a life. Death is a matter of time, so love with all your heart can muster. Well, that's actually really pretty. For my entire life, I only thought about how I'd die. My mind focused on escaping that temple and forging my own path. I refused to be sacrificed. I never imagined the sea god to be real, nor would we soon be bound together with a vow. Rafayel promised he'd let me go if I became his most devout follower before the sea god's ceremony. This is of great significance to me.
You must keep an eye out. Humans eat everything. Fish can always be on the main course.
We also like to eat fish. What fish do they like?
They also tend to use hot water for their baths.
With nothing to do, Algae gives me a tour of the city.
Do you remember Lemuria's flame? We call it the sun below the waves. The fire grows weak as seasons pass. The sea god must reignite it during his coming-of-age ceremony.
I look at Rafayel. Children surround him, grabbing his hands, making him play with them. He creates balls of fire, the light illuminating every face.
As you must know, we are in the deep sea. Sunlight cannot reach this place, let alone moonlight. Without this flame, Lemuria would be plunged into a horrifying darkness. If we were not able to see each other, we would transform into hideous beasts.
What, like the Naga? Your worries are unique. Compared to the world of man, Lemuria is a utopia seen only in fairy tales. They could swim freely and reassemble humans. As the legends say, love and freedom dictate the Lemurian way of life. They are also not interested in welfare. Their songs, tales, rare shells and pearls are placed into bottles that could be washed ashore. Their conches are said to store sounds for many years. Mr. Seagull, did you hear what I just said? Rafayel doesn't look up. He tosses a blue conch, its origins unknown. Such a wondrous thing exists? What do you call it?
It has no name. Treat it as the miraculous conch of wonders. Take it. The shell will accept all your pointless laments and complaints.
Since Rafayel is engrossed in his reading, I whisper various words into the conch. You are no god of the sea, you are a god of scourges. May you be born as a sea monster in your next life. A sea cucumber and oyster would work, or... Oh god. So it seems like these two are not really getting along, huh? When we depart from the temple, dusk has graced Lemuria with its presence. I gaze at the highest spire on the building where a bright fire burns. Like the sun above, it rises from the east and sets in the west. It has brought light and warmth to Lemuria for generations.
Are you interested in some sightseeing?
Isn't the temple closed off at this time?
Follow me.
God, we're we're breaking and entering again. Rafayel avoids the temple's guards and we reach the highest floor of the spire. I am out of breath when we reach the highest floor. Exhausted, I suddenly lose my footing and almost fall into his arms. Rafayel frowns. Do you not like people touching you?
No.
Sorry.
You can hold my hand.
He extends his hand to me. Oh. Aww.
But don't hold on to it too tightly.
My bad. Ah! I gently hold his finger. Truly it is hard to understand the sea god's heart. Gently, Rafayel drags me to the top of the spire. Below us is all of Wellfall City. Like golden fog, the firelight enshrouds every building. How beautiful! This is the first time I've seen a sunset underwater.
Is it pleasing to look at?
Yeah. Raphael's gaze follows the distant light. He's deep in thought.
Tell me of the world on the surface.
What would you like to know? I can't think of anything to talk about. Since I was once a sacrifice to the god of the sea, I spent most of my time inside that cold temple. Myria is the biggest, grandest world I have visited in my life. We can visit the surface, if you'd like. There are flowers and plants and animals that you could never find in the ocean. Have you seen a puppy? You can't say you've lived unless you touched a puppy's tail.
There are records of them in the college's library. And don't give me that look of pity. 'Tis rude. Can you name even one of the peculiar creatures of the deep sea?
Rafayel grabs a passing, glowing jellyfish and motions for me to continue. You are a boring piece of driftwood. What I mean to say is, you've snuck out before. You can do it again, right? Rafayel stops trying to humor me. He finds a spot in the shadows and closes his eyes. I recall Elder Amun's words about Lemurians and one of their weaknesses. Essentially, once a Lemurian is bound to a person, they are to obey every command of their master. Yeah, she's remembering that now. He'll fulfill every request of mine, right? Oh, this is so pretty. Okay. Make some flames. Doesn't work at all.
Don't waste your time. One should practice silence when watching the sunset.
The lighting here is so good. Do you want to see the real sun, Rafayel?
I do not.
You wanted to sneak onto the beach the day we met.
Your tongue barely moved when we first met. Back then, you were rather... This side of you is much more to my liking.
On the beach, we have the sea god ceremony too. We play wonderful songs on lyres and...
Were the surface world as lovely as you claim, you'd be elsewhere.
There are evil people on land. Once they learn you're Lumerian, your tears that turn into pearls would be harvested day after day, endlessly.
If you persuade me to bring you to the beach, you'll run away. Is the surface world sunset different from the one in the ocean?
Honestly, my memory of it is hazy. You take me to see the sun and I'll bring you to the festival. What do you think? As Wellfall City darkens, I sense Rafayel is asleep. I lean against his shoulder, my head almost touching his. I feel sleepy. Oh, we're so pretty in the outfit we're wearing. Sorry, I'm trying to glue my nail back down because it's starting to come off again. Only downsides of doing your nails at home, people. Because I can't afford to do it every month. Aww. Huh. So, if we get bound together, he has to do everything I say. Huh. Interesting. As days passed, I grew accustomed to living here. Raphael hasn't talked about needing a follower, and today he suddenly approaches me.
Let's go.
Where to?
The beach. You spoke of humans celebrating the sea god's birthday for several days.
Truly?
Yes.
Oh, he's trying. Under cover of night, Raphael and I sneak past the guards in Wellfall City and reach the shore. I doubt you had to swim so quickly when a shark chased us.
Two-legged creatures like you are slow and lack the ability to protect themselves. Without me, you won't survive a single day in the ocean.
Touché. The waves are calm and the stars from on high shimmer brightly. I take a deep breath, fresh air filling my lungs. See the island over there? The tallest temple is where the emissaries reside. Raphael looks at where my finger is pointing. In the distance, it is a brightly lit building.
Have you lived there a long time?
Ever since the emissaries adopted me when I was a child. For a time, I thought I was also a follower of the sea god. As I got older, I figured out I wasn't a follower, but a sacrifice, something his followers would give to the sea god. Only the emissaries have the right to be the sea god's followers.
Why didn't you try to escape?
Where could I have gone? This island is too small. They'd find me no matter how hard I tried. Were I to become a fish and swim into the ocean, perhaps I'd be successful. Let's keep moving. Basking in the wind any longer might make me catch a cold. After a few steps, Raphael stops me in my tracks.
You were originally a sacrifice to the sea god. Why are you inviting yourself into their domain?
That's a good point, to be fair. Before we enter, Raphael finds some driftwood and creates a mask for me to wear. It fits perfectly. As with the festival underway, the scent of expensive spices permeates the air. Mermaid-shaped lamps on the building burn. Beneath the arcs, which are inscribed with the legend of the sea god, is a performer playing a lyre and singing.
Unable to break his vow with the girl and his own burning passion, the god of the sea left the ocean and lived happily ever after with his beloved.
When the puppet show ends, the curtains are drawn. The children talk amongst themselves.
But Lemuria is centered around bonds. Without it, the sea god won't remember or obey her.
What are you talking about? The god of the sea will find his beloved and live happily ever after.
You're also naive.
Often the little girl tugs at my sleeve.
What do you think, miss? Will the sea god be with her because he loves her or because of their vow?
All those legends of Lemuria are just made up nonsense. Before I can continue, the children start crying. I'm sorry, I didn't...
What about you, sir? Does Lemuria exist? Would the sea god give his heart to a human?
The sea god, who has listened to the story, his chin resting on his hand, nods.
He would. Lemuria is my homeland, so that is how I know.
I tried to cover Raphael's mouth, but he pushes me away.
Huh? What are Lemurians like?
Their tears turn into glimmering pearls, and their voices bring dreams of wonder. Their blood can make one live forever, or even resurrect the dead.
Fuck, I didn't realize they were that
I
powerful.
already knew that.
Lemurians don't fall in love with people they are bound to. 'Tis a human fantasy.
What else?
Are you that curious?
Raphael takes the sea god puppet and the girl puppet the story teller gives him. Only then does he notice his companion has disappeared.
Sir?
Next, he looks around. Food stalls, puppet shows, jugglers. She is not there, anywhere. He lets out a sigh of relief when his gaze sees the market plaza. Pomegranate wine, the distraction, had lured her away.
The young lady there. Inform her that someone is waiting. If she doesn't return soon,
He thinks and then whispers to the little girl.
that person won't keep waiting.
Oh God. This is so far this is very cute. Like Raphael seems so naive. But I think that's just obviously because he's been in Lemuria his whole life, huh? Okay, let's move on to the next one. We're about halfway there. My phone's starting to get low on battery, so I might have to hold fire on Xavier's myth for now. I might do that tomorrow, but we'll see. Are you upset I was distracted? Don't be angry, I returned, didn't I? I even brought with me pomegranate wine. It just finished fermenting. We can take it back for Algie and Conch.
I'm not upset, but
As I speak with Raphael, there is an argument behind us.
Someone stole the pearl eyes from the sea god statue in the temple. You must be the thief.
You're mistaken. The person who gave these to me is over there. I would never dare touch the sea god's treasures.
The storyteller points, and the guards see me and Raphael.
There! Seize them!
will they imprison us? Ah, well, we should start running.
We were careless. Commoners would use coins to pay, not pearls from the deep sea.
I just found them in the sand before we... Ouch!
God. I grab Raphael and drag him into a deserted alleyway. You're no longer safe here. We must find a way back.
Don't you want to stay?
Raphael interrupts my thoughts. Huh?
If that's your wish, I can distract them for you. In the Tome of the Sea God, the text states I must never go against your wishes. If I did, it'd mean we cannot be bound.
He turns around and kicks the pebbles by his feet.
I need only one follower. It doesn't have to be you.
Aren't you afraid of me telling the others about Lemuria?
But you always wanted to live on the surface world, right?
He is confused. I only shake my head and take Raphael's hand. I don't have a wish. Besides, the celebration is not about me. Raphael is startled. Then, under the realistic statues of the sea god, he smiles.
This event has nothing to do with me either.
The thieves are over here! Capture them!
Fuck off! We're bonding! Damn it, they found us! Raphael pushes me into the shadows and walks onto the street.
Do you all want eyes from the god of the sea? I have tons. Have at it.
With a flick of his wrist, countless pearls of various sizes soar through the air and cascade onto the ground. The surrounding merchants are stunned before they begin to fight with one another, picking up as many pearls as they can.
Mine! It's mine! Cease! None of you can take them. They are only for the emissaries.
The greater the temptation, the less likely humans need to believe in anything, it seems. It is understandable for the god of the sea to struggle to find a follower most devout in their worship of him.
Sir, I don't want the sea god's eyes. Can I get your sea god puppet instead?
Here. Remember to keep them together.
Raphael gives the puppets to the little girl. He then takes my hand and pulls me into the night. The guards have called for the city gates to be closed and barricaded. Raphael and I run along the path behind a mountain. Unfortunately, we now stand on the cliff, nothing but the ocean below us.
Jump.
Huh? Sharp, jagged coral and rock lie at the bottom. A single mistake would be disastrous. Surely you jest. If we jump, we'll die. Ah!
Not with me here.
Raphael ignores my protest and kicks me off the cliff. Rushing water separates me and Raphael. The horror of drowning washes over me again. I throw out my arms, helpless, trying my best to reach the surface. Raphael! Beneath the surging waves, I can barely see. I have returned to that fateful day when I was tossed overboard. Maybe my destiny is just to die in the ocean. Lemuria was just a mirage, a dream made in my final moments because I still clung to a sliver of hope. Frigid, briny water floods my throat. No matter how many gods there are in this world, whether legendary or figments of my imagination, I cannot place my faith in them. Even if they are real, why have my prayers gone unanswered? Even now, as I edge closer and closer to death's door, I am alone.
Hold on tight.
A voice speaks beside my ear. I open my eyes and see a familiar yet blurry image. He tightly holds my hand, using all of his strength. Raphael. I remember, although I hoped for the gods to exist, someone has already answered me. He says nothing. He cups my cheek and his head moves closer. Aww. We're getting so close to the end of this already. You should have at least said something before that.
If I did, your last kiss would have been given to this generation's sea god. Also, watch what your arms and legs are doing.
I see I am in Raphael's embrace, like a hermit crab who's found a new shell. I'm sorry, I left marks on your arms again.
I don't mind. Give me your hand.
Raphael tosses my mask into the ocean and takes my hand and helps me to stand. My body suddenly feels light, my feet landing on the water's rippling surface. I am able to stand on the ocean as steady as I do on land. In boundless blue, he takes me to the horizon. Behind us, the islands melt into sunset's glow. Shadow. He gestures for waves to bloom under my feet, sea foam appearing with every step I take. Fish swim, white gulls circle overhead and sing as they land on my shoulder. Huh.
We went through a lot of effort to see the sunrise. Why are you quiet?
No, I've never seen anything this beautiful in my life. I make Raphael sit down. I let my feet touch the lapping waves. Curious fish circle around us. Raphael raises an eyebrow. He pokes the fish that's leapt out of the water.
As a young boy, my life was no different from yours. The prophecy stated Lemuria was to only have one god of the sea left. My predecessor passed away, and they found me years later, bathed in the flames under the union of dusk and dawn.
Oh my god.
The deep sea is dangerous. Only the strong survive. 'Tis why I can only go as far as the surface of the sea.
Were you happy? Have you ever thought about traveling to another place? I touch his fingers, my gaze meeting his.
Who do you think made that hole behind the college?
Sun's rising. The sun breaks through layers on layers of clouds. He looks up at the sky, observing the glittering sea beneath its rays.
So it is.
I feel like these two are really beginning to bond now. Many moons have passed since our last rendezvous to the surface. The deep sea becomes my second home. I'm used to living underwater, or in Whaleful City rather. On the night before the sea god ceremony, as everyone is asleep, Raphael takes me to the temple. Pulsating in a steady rhythm behind us, the flame burns.
When the fire goes out tomorrow, a new Lemurian prophecy will appear in the tome of the sea god. And when the fire is reignited, the ceremony will end.
Describe to me what's done.
We sit on my divine throne, adorned with shells and pearls. 100 golden crabs will carry us on a journey to every part of the deep sea.
That sounds lovely, but wouldn't everyone be annoyed?
Indeed. I'll skip the first part of the ceremony. 'Twas only make-believe nonsense. I don't know the details of the ceremony, but it won't be anything like the celebration on the surface world. Every participant will be blessed by the ocean.
What about you? Will I receive your blessing?
Tomorrow's blessing will be for everyone, but 'tis only yours at this moment. 'Tis a true emissary of the god of the sea. With it in your company, you need not be afraid of the danger that lies ahead.
Someone buy me that necklace, please. It's beautiful.
I also have a question. 'Tis a very, very important one.
What?
Are you willing to be my follower?
Yes. Desiring the sincerest worship of mortals, Val must offer an irreplaceable object.
The sea god's heart, mine heart. Dost thou want it?
We lean in closer to each other. The flame flickers, seemingly startled awake. A few moments later, it returns to normal. Huh. That was so cute. I can't handle this, people. God damn. I will cut out your heart with a dagger honed, my darling. And in love's name, your heart will become my faith. Your body will be washed clean, shine like a pearl. I will care for your heart till we meet again and you reclaim it for yourself. Dream. On the edge of sand and ocean. I once had a dream. My feet sink into the sand, endless as the yellow sky. Plants grow along a dried riverbed. I walk beside it for a long time. The skin on my fingers is dry, cracked. My feet start to bleed. At the edge of the riverbed is a young man and a giant sea creature. I cannot make out his features, but I think he has taken in the animal's warmth. He appears to be singing a melody. 'Tis strange, alluring, but I can barely make out any notes as his voice is barely above a whisper. I take a few steps, wishing to hear him better. When he looks up, I immediately recognize those eyes. He stands up and reaches out to me like I'm an old friend returning from a long trip. There's Wellfall City. He points to the bones of a sea creature long dead. In the distance, they rest in the sand dunes. That's where I can look at the sea? Yes. I take his hand. We arrive at our destination when the sun rises. The teen turns to me. A dagger plunges into my chest. Warm blood drips and seeps into the sand. I watch as he rips open my chest, and holds my heart with his hand, red with my blood. A tiny flame feeds on my fresh blood. A shiny crystal, emitting a strange light, rests at the center of the flames. There's a voice in the air, whispering the reason for us to leave the desert is not to find an oasis. We're here for a heart to take it back and make it our worship. I haven't been graced with a dream for a long time. Why did it feel real? I feel like I'm suffocating, as if my heart had been ripped out of my chest. The miraculous conch of wonders outside Wellfall City has brought many rumors about the surface world these past few days. The sea god's last sacrifice angered him. His divine wrath, he burned down a temple to punish his followers. Then the eldest of the emissaries was bedridden and died.
Who cares? Tomorrow will be the sea god's ceremony.
What's it like?
I'm not sure how to describe it.
Every Lemurian says 'tis a sacred rite worth attending. Girls wear light, flowy clothes and braid their hair with beautiful pearls and shells. This looks pretty. Will you wear it tomorrow? Holding her dress, Algie happily spins around.
We also prepared a lovely garment for you.
Everyone is going to help prepare for the ceremony. I don't know what to do.
Just stand in a conspicuous spot and then give him your hand.
Do you know anything about the last sea god ceremony? Algie shakes her head.
1,000 years passed since then. My grandfather's grandfather was still a child then.
Algie senses what I'm thinking and grabs my hands.
Don't worry. I heard the sea god's follower will help him see Lemuria's future. The prophecy will reveal the fate of Lemuria. You're free to play with us once the ceremony is over.
I don't trust this. Hide and seek, a children's game. Someone you meet, she will steal something of great importance to you. Even if you are blindfolded and tossed into the bottomless depths of the ocean, she'll know where you are and how to find you. Oh god. After climbing through the temple's window, Rafayel felt a little tired, dizzy even. 3, 2, 1. Ready or not, here I come. Algie was far, far away, a speck in the distance. Rafayel sat down and expected to wait a long time. The Lemurian temple stood at its highest point of a seamount. 'Twas the closest to the sky above. Hence, the first rays of dawn brushed against every spire every morning, and only the spire. Lemuria was in the bottom of a fissure in the deep sea, a place light would not touch. Only a fire provided the source of warmth and light. The sun's rays made him tired. To prevent himself from falling, he touched the flame. 2 flames merged, burning together as if they were one single blaze. The prophecy stated it would go out, only to be reignited by him. Rafayel frowned and thought it's too cold and too dark down there. I don't like it. So he asked again, would someone come and find me when I'm hidden there? Alder Amun shook his head. He watched the way the flames flicker and then sighed. He plunged his finger into the heart of the fire, slowly. The fire wasn't hot. Instead it was warm, like the sea baked under the afternoon sun. He wanted to be like those fish that leaped out of the water, to break through the surface to see if the sun was just as warm. He had imperious thought. Perhaps Lemuria's fire, which is a poor imitation of the sun. Rafayel came to his senses. He took back his hand and picked up the little blue fish by its tail.
Shh, be quiet. I don't want to be found right away. If you speak another word, you will return to being a scale, and a scale you'll be forevermore.
The little fish became quiet and just blew bubbles.
I heard there is a lot of entertainment on land, as well as humans.
Bored, Raphael played with the little fish in his hand.
You're small, barely even a bite if eaten. If we sneak out onto the surface world and meet bad people, could you do anything? Be careful, or else you'll be caught. They'll pluck all your scales and remove your insides. Humans will turn you into fish oil for a lamp and...
The little fish bites Raphael.
bite you.
Raphael shook his finger from the pain and leapt from the windowsill. Hiding was boring.
All of you are idiots. I'm over here. Try a little harder to find me next time.
Oh, that's cute. Little baby Raphael. Okay, last one, people. We're nearly there. Today is the day. After thousands of years, Wellfall City holds the Sea God's ceremony again. Before the sun rises, the city is already in a festive mood. Everyone looks forward to the ceremony to celebrate the sea god becoming an adult and gaining the power to protect the ocean.
Can't, you dumb sea cucumber? I told you to save a spot for us. We can't see anything here.
Sister, don't be so mean. Your teacher's right in...
Why are you hiding there? The sea god won't be able to see you.
Doesn't matter. There are so many people. He might not...
Quiet. Here he is.
The crowd erupts into cheers. I look up and spot a huge shadow sweeping over Wellfall City. 'Tis a beautiful, scared creature of the ocean. It appears to be a whale, yet it has bird's wings. The sea god sits on his back, passing by his loyal subjects before stopping at the gates to Wellfall City. He walks through the crowd until he stands before me. He lifts the veil on my head and then takes my hand. Beautiful, intricate patterns are painted on his body. His eyes are almost smiling, as if he's been waiting for this moment. Inadvertently, I hold my breath. Everyone moves aside, creating a path for us. As we make our way down, every child says their blessings in Mimberly. Gorgeous coral branches are thrown behind us as we approach the temple's doors. Doors slowly close behind us, songs from the outside melding with prayers inside the temple. In the dimly lit hall, the fire twists in the darkness, about to go out. The sea god intertwines our fingers, pressing our hands against his chest. I close my eyes, calling out his name silently. I am willing to give him my heart. I am willing to give him my sincerest form of worship. I am willing to have his very being etched, engraved onto my soul as I praise and pray to him for the rest of my life. Soft like a silken thread, the sea god's fire touches my hand. The fiery thread embeds itself into my palm, becoming a line, a very part of my soul. Raphael, the young god of the sea, looks at me. His voice is like the wind, blowing out the only light in the darkness.
This is my promise to you, for 'tis Lemuria's vow, a bond everlasting.
No one knows what happened that day. Lemuria is plunged into endless darkness. Panic seeps into every part of the ocean. The deep sea is angry. In its wrath, waves slam against the cliffs and rocks fall onto the waters. Even that underbuilt temple is turned into rubble. 'Tis a long time before the sea god walks out of the temple alone, bringing light back to Lemuria. As he leaves the temple, the alcove that once held the flame collapses. The sea god's follower is gone. Bathed in sparks and cinders, he holds a small, pulsing flame. It rises like a newborn. Some said that the flame was born from the purest faith. Some said that the sea god sacrificed his follower to save Lemuria. Different stories, some true, some not, circulate until people gradually forgot about the ceremony. No Lemurians have ever seen the sea god's follower and the little fish that swims around with him. They are gone, whereabouts unknown. Only many, many years later, than the god of the sea has perished, when the kingdom has sunk to the depths of the ocean, a rumor begins to circulate Lemuria. The god of the sea had lied to the deep sea for his beloved. So he didn't take our heart? Shit. Oh my lord, so he didn't take our heart. He lied so we could survive, right? Oh my lord. This is so much to take in this game. Okay, you guys might have to explain that one a little bit to me in the comments. My phone's on 1% battery, so I'm gonna go put it on charger. It does mean I'm not gonna get Xavier's myth done today, but I promise I will get it out to you tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!